But when I look back on it, I'll look at the 2005 Australian Open and see it as always go down as one of my highlights of my career, purely because the pressure and expectation of a nation going into the tournament as it was, and to come out and get that close, but also to put such a buzz into the tournament. I think everyone was living and dying with every match, every point that I played, and I know back in Adelaide they'll all be going crazy, and it's an awesome feeling.
It just feels like it's a great time, and it's a high, and there's a lot of roller coasters. Just about every one of his matches, at one stage or other, he looked like he could have been losing before he pulls it out of the fire again. And tonight again, in the end, he had his chances there early, and then Merritt just stepped it up and took the match away from him. But there was no disgrace in that. Merritt's a great player and a guy he likes and we like, and there's no shame in losing to a bloke that plays that well, and he gave his all.
When we first got together 18 months ago, it was an interesting time in his career, I think. There was, he's been number one in the world, and, when you're riding that wave, it's very important to actually decide to put things in place to actually accelerate your progress, and maybe that wasn't happening at that time. So when we got together, we had an interesting situation at Wimbledon where he lost first round, defending champion, and that's very disappointing, obviously, for Lleyton. It was also, it was a tough time for me as well, taking over, and so you're going to get the brunt of the world media on you, especially and also some Australian media that were keen to sort of jump on board. But we're pretty strong-minded, guys, and there was a plan in place to actually, improve his game, redevelop it, and take it to another level in, as far as his tennis career goes, and we did that, and we never sort of moved off our, a line of thought, and to this day, I think he hasn't put too many feet wrong. He ended up winning the Davis Cup for Australia, and he's been now back-to-back Grand Slam titles, even though he hadn't won them, but he's been to the finals of both the US Open and the Australian Open, and I think only Ken Rosewall's done that. He was the last Australian to actually go back-to-back finals in Grand Slam tennis as far as Australians go, and Lleyton's one of few people that have ever made it past the quarterfinals in 4 consecutive Grand Slams. So he deserves a lot of accolades for what he's doing.
It's just been unbelievable that he could get up for so many matches. I mean, every day you're like, oh shit, he's going to lose the next one. Or like, is his body going to hold up? And then when he was against Nadal and Nalbanyan, you just thought, can he get through this? Somehow he keeps finding a way to win, and unfortunately tonight, Murat was too good on the night, and Lleyton busted his ass out there again, which he always does, and I mean, what more can you ask?
Definitely proud of the effort that he's put in. Disappointment of not getting the final result. You're trying to climb the mountain. You're almost there. You've got one hand on the top of the ledge there, and you've just got to pull yourself up. And we did everything to get ourselves to that stage where we had a chance to pull ourselves up. Didn't quite get there. Does that mean that's failure? Absolutely not. Regrets? No regrets, because we've done everything in our power to get the ultimate goal of winning our home title, and if you do that, there are definitely no regrets, and that's pretty special.
I think when he sits down in a week or whatever, and he just reflects on it, he's going to know that this was pretty awesome. It's going to be a pretty big chapter in his sporting life.
I just thought he was unreal. I just felt so proud watching him every match, and just being able to come back and just watching him out there, knowing that he's mine for starters, that's pretty good. But he just played so well, and I'm so happy that he made it as far as he did.
From my point of view, I just like his philosophy, the way he goes about his business. He trains his tail off. He's open to ideas. He's a bright guy. He takes everything on board, spits out what he doesn't think is relevant to him, but he takes on all information. Doesn't give much away, but his mind is always ticking over. And he's got a great work ethic off the court. And then when he comes to play, he just comes to play every day, and he doesn't make excuses. And, professional players, tennis players, and I guess this goes for a lot of sportsmen, they kind of cocoon themselves with excuses, lies, fabrications, to protect their ego. But Lleyton's very good like that. He's a very honest, open character, and I just appreciate him, because I think if you're a punter and you go to the Australian Open and you pay 50, 70, 90 bucks, whatever it is, the one thing that you can demand is that the person on the court is giving their best, and he does that every day. So I reckon he's a tournament director's dream.
When he won that last point, I remember he looked up the sky and he mouthed the words, "Come on, Australia!" Like, because he just plays for the Australian flag, and he plays for, and you know, like people talk about, you know, when he was world number one, he went back to world number whatever it was the next year, but that was all about Davis Cup for Lleyton, and he just has so much pride in his country, and I reckon, you know, like it just gives so much more to the Australian public and to the Australian sporting public too, to see a guy that can sort of sacrifice his money or his ranking or whatever, but just to go for his country and to play for his country. And
yeah, I mean, look, even at the fact that I guess I'm sort of here with him over like this period of time, or last year or a couple of years ago, I still don't really see him as a tennis player, I guess, in a lot of ways. It's more or less a pretty close mate. We've played a lot of tennis together, I guess. But at the end of the day, we can sort of sit out here, we can have a drink or two, and we can still play golf together and pretty much have a good time together.
Yeah, he's probably the most gutsiest athlete we've had. You know, there's no, in Australian sport, there's no doubt about that. I think if you're looking at other athletes, and it's hard to compare because, you know, in golf, you know, you've got Greg Norman. How gutsy was Greg Norman? Pretty gutsy. You know, had a lot of chances like Lleyton where he put himself in positions to win and didn't win. You know, majors, won 2 majors. You know, should have won probably, you know, may have won 5, and you know, but he's going to be one of the all-time greats, and he was gutsy to keep turning up and doing what he did, and what a great Australian, and that is guts as well. Lleyton does it on a different form because he's got to go out there and produce a high energy type activity. So we see the guts in that. So look, it's courage, it's determination, it's the fear of losing, which brings out the guts and the determination, and you know, it's also the enjoyment that he has within about trying to get the end result and trying to get the final goal of winning tournaments and winning Grand Slams, and that's you don't. Some people are born with it, some people develop it. You know, he's just one of those lucky ones to have it.
The average Aussie likes to see themselves as a competitor. You know, they might be a terrible sportsman. You know, they might be the average backyard cricketer who goes and plays C grade, you know, and tries to grind out a 30, 40, maybe get a 50, tries to take 2 or 3 wickets, play footy, you know, likes to score a few goals, and they can epitomise with a guy like him. And I'm not blowing wind up here. I'm trying to, you know, it doesn't really matter to me here. What I'm saying is that, you know, a lot of guys look up to him, and, you know, we're going to go out here, we're going to forget about this conversation, but a lot of people look up to him for what he is, and I don't think many people, you know, and Lleyton probably doesn't realise how many young Aussies look up to him.
Waz and I get along great. You know, we've spent countless hours, you know, in Davis Cup teams. When I was an Orange boy, and the Fanatics started coming along to all the Davis Cup ties, and mate, I'll never forget playing my matches in Davis Cup and how much support I got. You know, there's been a couple of times where I've been wouldn't have won matches because of the Fanatics when we've been away in Spain and Brazil and copping it. We're getting spat on, we're getting swirled at, everything. And the Fanatics have put their heart and soul behind me. And, you know, there's a sense of, you know, I feel like I owe them a hell of a lot. You know, they really go out of their way to help me and to play. And I know they've sort of, when I cop some flack in the press, they cop some with me, and you know, I feel bad for that sometimes. You know, purely because they're a top bunch of Aussie guys that want to come along and support the Australian sports people.
Tonight down here has been great at the reception and that here, and then making that announcement tonight, which, you know, obviously we knew of a week or so back. We didn't know it was necessarily going to be done tonight and made public. But it's been great, yeah.
I had no idea it was coming. Not at all. Definitely not tonight. Just, yeah, for him to be doing this on the side in the middle of a tournament, he's mad.
We're absolutely thrilled with the engagement news, and they just seem to make a great couple. He's so happy and she seems so happy, and we couldn't be happier.
We were sitting on the couch and we were just talking about